Okay, first impressions, it's not bad. I don't particularly like the door. It is a tad on the stiff side. Push the button, pops open. I mean, it will loosen up in time. The other thing, there's a lot of wasted space with these, but they are, I assume, there to help reinforce the body structure. And obviously you lose quite a bit at the sides here and here. So obviously you can see sort of most of my fingertips disappear around the edge. So there's quite a bit of space inside. Then down at the bottom, well, it will show up in the corner there, and there. There's 4 bolts. That secures it down to the base. They're already pre-tapped, and then you've got a series of 3 bolts up here, 3 there, and they're coach bolts. So you've got a square edge on the back of it of these, so you can put them in backwards, and then you can just use a spanner or a ratchet to do them up. Now on the inside you've got these little panels here. They've got 4 bolts, and then the same on the bottom. They are slightly awkward, and these aren't coach bolts, which makes them more awkward. It's not overly clear, but what I've done, I've put the screw head this side so I can get a screwdriver into it, and on the back it's easy enough to just get a span around. Alright, next step is to actually try and get the box unpacked, and then get it on top. Right, anybody looking to buy this, I think so far it looks really good. All of this is very solid. So you've got the oil-filled cylinder, which allows it to do the slow controlled fall, was infinitely variable. All the adjustments are, it's my first bandsaw, so I don't really know what all of it does. The instruction manual seems pretty good. Putting it together was relatively easy. One thing that I have spotted, I phoned up Axminster to get some advice about this, and they said that it wouldn't reach the vertical position, and this knob here is just for show basically. I brought this with the intention of modifying it to be able to go vertical, and it turns out it reaches that as sort of standard. You just have to disconnect this. I'll show it to you in a second. I thought having the versatility would be quite nice, and the alternative bandsaw I was looking at, made by Warco, also doesn't go vertical, but I suspected that this could be removed to allow it to do so. So I'll show you that now quickly. So around the back here there's a little pin that you can set to allow it to hold at a particular height, so just like that. Now if you pull it out, it then comes to about here, and I don't know if you can tell, but it just kind of locks in position there. So if you undo this, this just pops out and it drops back, and there is a nut on the back here. I'll get a close up in a minute. There's a nut on the back here, and this stops it from going any further back, so that is adjustable to get it very precise. There's also a plate back here, which seems to prevent it from going any further back. Whether it's designed for that or not, I don't know. But it does give it a bit of extra support. It does make it very back heavy, and it's already quite back heavy when you lift it from here, so I'd possibly even consider trying to secure it to the floor when using it in this position. The plate here matches the same sort of plate, it would appear, as the alternatives from Warco have on their slightly smaller version. So you can remove the 2 screws and add in a much larger plate to allow it to be used in the vertical position. So of course all the bed looks like it's nicely machined, all the vise is machined, so you're going to get some very accurate angles when you're cutting on this. Like I said, it's my first one, so if anybody's got questions, please do ask away, because I don't know entirely what I'm talking about. It's more so because there's not a lot of reviews on this machine that I could find videos for. So I thought I'd just basically give you the once round, show you what I plan on doing with it. And yeah, so like here you've got the infinitely variable, control it, speed it up, slow it down, bring it to a stop. See, under here you've then got the adjustment for different speeds. The motor does look rather chunky, and as you can tell the whole thing was quite heavy when I was lifting out with the ropes. One thing that isn't immediately obvious without looking through some of the information is the vise you can swap from side to side, which does mean that when you put it into certain positions. So what's that stuck on? Just need to undo it more. There we go. So obviously that will cut the 45° across this way, but it can go all the way to, is it positive or negative 60°? So I don't know if you guys can see that, but this little plastic arm that you use to tighten it, actually you can pull up and it's spring loaded to allow you to repeatedly tighten it more. Or it's just getting stuck on something. There, so that feels like a little pop position, possibly at 45. No, maybe it's just grippy, it possibly just needs a clean, I've not done that yet. So obviously at this position here, if it was to drop, it would be cutting straight across the vise, and yeah, all sorts of damage. So what you can do is you can undo the two bolts here and here, so there and there, swap the vise, and there's another point here, so that centre one will be the same. It will only allow you to do up to 60° that way. This bit here is a stop, so you can put it through here or the other side. You've got two Allen keys in the vise on top there, so you can secure it. There's another Allen key on the back side of it here, just there, so you can slide it, adjust the depth, and then stick it up like that to actually stop your work from going or coming so far out. You can also spin it round if the work needs to be really close. So I'll just leave that there. So if you start trying to tighten this up a little bit, there we go. So like all of that, I'm not actually undoing anything. That's completely disconnected. You can drop it down and do it, and then it bites in. So I'm just trying to work it out, because it said there is a stop to accurately cut to 0 and 45°. But I'm not feeling anything click into place. So that's at 10°. That's 0, 40. No, so I think the 45° stop is just a physical hard limit at this end, which is where the maximum slot comes round to. But there's no set for 0. You just have to line it up on the scale that's around the side here. So here is the ball mechanism that I was referring to. This, I don't know if you can see, but just on the inside edge in here is actually threaded, then this just pops out. Nice and easy to do, so it's easy to put back into the vertical position and reassemble. One other thing that I've noticed is the power switch, turn it on here. It's okay, but if I was being super picky, it'd be nice if it was up the front a bit more. Just so that obviously you're going to be spending more time at the front of the machine than the side area. Here's the other mounting hole for the vise and the stop on the vise. And then round the side here you've got the, let's drop this down. You've got the couple of different hole positions to lock the vise. To lock the saw in, so that obviously if you're working, aligning work to get the right length, then you can use that. This bit back here is the bit that I was referring to rest the saw on. I'll take you around the other side. So this is the bit that the saw was resting on, and down here you've got this screw here, which I think has left that teeny tiny mark there, is what stops it from going back any further than dead vertical. It's obviously slightly adjustable. What I might do is I might try and machine something to go on here, give it a slightly larger plate, a few more areas to secure it, and possibly try and work a way of bolting it down once it's in the vertical position. So, I mean, overall it was slightly smaller than I was expecting. I was worried I wouldn't have enough room in the garage for it. Possibly still the case, but as you can see next to the lathe, it's actually just a smidge over the height of the table. If it wasn't for the belt on the motor, it would probably actually fit underneath my bench. Right, so hopefully you guys have found that helpful, give you an idea of the size if you're looking at buying it. And obviously sort of mentioned about that, which they didn't, or said actively on the phone that it would not do. It was just decorative. Handy little note to make if you do intend on making a vertical bandsaw as well out of it. Yeah, I mean, I missed a few bits. Obviously it's got wheels on the back, but that's all in the sort of documentation for it. It is a little bit back heavy, so if you're going to be moving it around a lot, do take care. I almost tipped it over when I hit a small stone in the garage. But otherwise, so far I'm really happy with it. It does turn on and it does work. I just haven't caught a video clip of it. I'm sure you can find a video of the working bandsaw though, so I'm not too worried. If you do have any questions, please do drop me a comment. I'll do my best to get you an answer. Otherwise, I'm quite pleased with it. I'm going to find somewhere to stick it so it's not completely in the way in the middle of the garage. But thank you very much for watching. If you do want to see any of the videos where I make this into a vertical bandsaw, make the bits to secure it, or any other of my videos, please do hit the subscribe button. And thank you very much for watching.